has been a long time since we have talked about the overall lore in Dandy's world, and I have a lot of questions. Something that I do so often in this game is literally spend hours running around the lobby and just trying to figure out the secrets that we still don't know about. And I figured since we have Finn's Tune of the Week coming in just a few days, we are definitely gonna be getting some more lore, so maybe these questions will be answered, but I really need your help. I'm gonna show you guys all of the little things that I have found that have just made me question so many other things, and maybe you guys have answers to them. Maybe we just don't know yet, but you guys are way smarter than me, so maybe you can help. My first question actually is, what is that like button doing down there? That's weird. I talked about it in my last video, but if you come over here to the Swimmy Barnaby machines, you have the out of order sign, I'll fix them later on this machine. Now I'm assuming when the update comes out in just a few days, this out of order sign is going to be taken down because that's when we're going to actually be able to play the games. So whoever wrote this note will either know because they will have come and fixed it and they'll be in the game as well, or the sign will just go away and we'll know nothing. But while I was spending so much time in this area right here thinking about this, I started to notice this board back here again, and it got me to start looking at it really closely. This is in the back of Dial's shop, and clearly there's some kind of investigation going on here. I don't know if this investigation is done by Dial or if this investigation is done by somebody like Roger, but I think we're led to believe that it's Dial because it has a lot to do with train tracks, and Dial loves trains. So I'm pretty sure this is Dial running whatever investigation this is here, who's tying all the dots together. And if you'll notice, there's a couple of things here. There's a picture over here, and there's a newspaper clipping right here. We don't know what the other ones are because they're just grayed out, but I have a huge question about this newspaper, the Garden View Railway. The paper features a quote that says, "The trains must be magic. They all run on their own." This does not make any sense to me. Unfortunately, we don't have a date on when this paper was released, but why would they say the trains must be magic, they all run on their own, when very clearly they don't run on their own? Dial is the one who operates the trains. Anybody who walks into the Garden View Center can clearly tell that Dial operates the trains because he literally does it. Watch. As soon as he pulls the lever, a new train arrives. So then why does this person think they run all on their own when clearly it's Dial that runs them? The only thing that I can think of is maybe Dial's shop in this section didn't exist when the Garden View Center was open for business and it was like created afterwards. Before Dial came out, this was just a merchandise shop anyway. So maybe actual goers to the Garden View Center never saw Dial, which would make that make a lot of sense, but I don't know. I just thought that was really weird. Anyway, that's not the only thing about this board. You'll see that this paper connects over here and branches off to this, which says main track, Route 4. If you pay really close attention to this, you will see that this is a screenshot clipping from the security camera that we have way out here, right there, that security camera. If I can line my camera up perfectly through this security camera, you will see it's basically the exact same angle of what you see in this picture. Something that makes me, again, have just lots and lots of questions is clearly you can see the iCore footprints in this photo plus the Find Me on the wall. Ever since this came out in the game, it's been a big question as to who wrote Find Me and who is walking out of this door. My biggest assumption has always just been that it's Dial, because Dial is the only tune that actually gets to leave the Garden View Center and get on the train. But if you look at Twisted Dial, these are not Bro's footprints. Dial's like a clock slug thing, so you would literally just see a line of iCore if this was Dial. But then at the same time, this is kind of the basic texture that they use for all Twisted footprints throughout the entire game. So maybe it's still possible or plausible to be implied that it's Dial, but I still don't know for sure. Either way, what this tells me is that the investigation that Dial is doing back here happened after the Garden View Center closed, because we already have like iCore on the paper over here, and there's already the iCore footprints right here. Now, why would Dial want to have this specific screenshot from the security cam right here? Maybe he watched the tape, the full tape, not just the picture, from the security camera, and he saw whoever it was write Find Me on the wall and then walk over to the train. Remember, this is not the only instance of Find Me that we've seen in the Garden View Center, because we also had the Easter update where written on the wall in pretty much the exact same style, it says Find Me, but in this case has a syringe underneath. So then the question becomes, why does Dial have this screenshot in this investigation, and why is it tied? Why does it branch off from this newspaper clipping? They're not all connected together. Like, this one's just connected to this one. These two are just connected to these. But why is this, the trains must be magic, they all run on their own? Technically not true, but maybe we only know that. Why is it connected to this right here, which is potentially the screenshot, or a screenshot of the video showing the lethal Twisted or somebody that we don't know yet, but it's the same person that broke into the room in the Easter map? Maybe? I don't know. Wait a minute. As I'm editing this, I just thought of something. Do you guys remember the city newspaper that talks about the Garden View Center closing? This one right here. Garden View Educational Center is to shut its doors on 6/29 due to recent allegations, yada, yada, yada. Well, if you look at the bottom right of the newspaper, there is another article that we can't completely read, but it says something discovery of a new species of something has been discovered, blush pink in color. Biologists say it is something huggable, something recently stated they are something silly nature. And if you look to the left over here, they put a picture of whatever they're talking about, but it's covered in ichor. We can see a little bit of the blush pink color that they're talking about in the article, but we can't make out what it is. However, if you look really closely, you'll see that they are outside. The picture of whatever they're talking about was taken outside, which means they would have had to get on the train. So maybe whoever wrote this Find Me Here and the Find Me in the Easter map is the same Tuner Twisted that got onto the train, and it's the same one that's pictured right here that they're talking about in this article. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Okay, back to the video. Just so you guys know, this is how I spend my free time in this game. Literally, while I was asking all of these questions to myself the other day, I called Hopeless on Discord. I'm just like, bro, I have so many questions. I need to share everything with you. And he actually shared something very interesting with me. I was sharing with him my theory about this out of order sign on this machine and telling him how we already know we have janitorial in the Garden View Center because of that radio transcript. Didn't Delilah tell us to throw out some of those founders photos? They're like, not gonna do it. And then Sam said, can't we get janitorial to handle this? And that's when I was like, maybe janitorial is a tune, so in the janitorial tune that maybe comes out this weekend, maybe that'd be crazy. But if that's true, then they'll be the one to fix this. Cause like custodian or janitors are typically the ones who fix little things around big facilities like this. But anyway, when I told this to Hopeless, he showed me a website that I had no idea existed. You let me know if you've seen this before, because this just blew my mind. It's called I'mSoHappyThey'reFriends.com, and all it is this picture right here. It's of the lobby of the Garden View Center with Dandy and Astro sitting under the tree, ichor veins literally pouring out of right here, and it says, wake up, it wasn't like this. How have I never seen this picture before? Oh my gosh. The crazy thing about this too is this isn't always what this looked like. It's been updated. When it first came out, it looked like this. There was no ichor leaking down the walls. There was no light turned on right here. And these things right here where the ichor is leaking out of in this picture, we know are the founders' photos that they're talking about in the radio transcript we just went over. This is 100% legit too. Apparently this came out when they first had their merch shop. You could find this link and find these images. And you can't anymore, but it's like from Dandy's World. This is legit. And you know, naturally, as I would do, I spent the entire weekend trying to figure out what all of this means. Spoiler alert, I don't know. But here's what I do know. If you look really close at this picture, you can tell that it's either one of two things. Either this is before the Garden View Center opened, or this is after the Garden View Center closed. There's boxes all around and even some heavy construction equipment in the very back, and the wallpaper is not put on the walls that we have currently in the lobby. These are all brown and basic, and here they're all colorful and not basic. Personally, I think this picture would have been taken sometime before the Garden View Center was open, specifically sometime between August of 1987 and March of 1988. The reason I know that is because Dandy got his first friend Pebble on August 24th of 1987, and then we have the video of Astro and Sprout sitting on the couch on March 12th of 1988. We also have this picture from 1988 of Dandy and Astro, and I'm pretty sure Astro is the second main that Delilah made, because you can see here you have Lethal 001, that's Dandy, and M main 002, that would be Astro. So this picture would have been taken somewhere within that 6 or 7 month time period, and the main reason I do not think this was taken after the Garden View Center closed is because of the tree. Look how small the tree is. Now compare that to how giant the tree is right now in the Garden View Center. I don't know about you, but it looks like this tree was planted somewhere around this time, and now it has grown over the last however many years into this behemoth of a tree that we have currently. I think if this picture was taken after the Garden View Center closed, the tree would still be giant, but it's not. It's really small. So now that we know when this picture was taken, now let's take a look at what is in the picture. So you have the founders' photos on their side right here, and you have ichor veining out of it, like a ton of ichor veining out of it. So whatever the ichor operation is in Dandy's world and whatever's going on started out very, very early before the Garden View Center even opened, all the craziness started. Now, what I find very interesting is that all of these veins of ichor are coming out of the old founders' photos. The same old founders' photos that were supposed to be taken out and thrown away. The radio transcript itself is found on those same original founders' photos. So my theory is that Delilah knew about this right here. Delilah knew that this was happening from these specific photos and was like, we can't have these photos around here. Something's getting exposed right now. I gotta tell them to throw it away, but they don't, clearly, they don't throw it away. They're like, not it, I'm not doing it. And they're still there in the Garden View Center to this day, which means that whatever's happening here, it happened. I mean, it spilled out of those founders photos and it's still happening to this day. We just don't see it like this right now. So what if these founders photos have a lot more to do with the overall lore of Dandy's world than we originally think? What if the founders photos was the origin of the entire operation? Like, not specifically the reason why, but like the method used to deliver came from these founders photos. I don't know. Like I said, I have so many questions. The other big thing in this image is it says, wake up, it wasn't always like this. And since we have Dandy and Astro sitting by the tree, I think it insinuates that maybe this is a dream, maybe that nobody's awake right now, maybe the whole Garden View Center, the whole situation is just Arthur's dream. Nobody existed? Yeah, probably not. But I've been thinking about this the entire weekend and I have no idea what it means. Do you know what it means? Let me know. All right, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. This one is not near as big as the other ones, but it's just something that I noticed and I was like, If you go to the roleplay mode in Dandy's world, you click teleport and you go to the Toon Rooms. Inside of Glisten's room right here, there is a note, which I'm sure we are all very familiar with. But I was looking at it the other day and I noticed something. Glisten says, not sure why they had to give me such awful tunes to share this floor with. That just made me realize there's more Toon Room floors than just this one. Obviously, not every single toon in the game has a room on this floor, only certain ones do, and it makes so much sense that there's more Toon Room floors, and I just really want to see the other floors. Imagine what the floor with all the mains living on it would look like. All the lore possibilities that we could get from that, if that ever comes out, would be amazing. I hope that in the roleplay mode, we get every single floor full of every single room for every single toon. That would be amazing. I just had never really thought about it before. I thought just other toons just were unlucky and didn't get their own dedicated room, but that's not true. It's just there's different floors because we know we access this area from an elevator over here, which means there's more than this floor, and maybe one day we'll get the other floors with the other toon rooms. That would be so exciting. Well, anyway, that is gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys answer my questions. That would be great. Thank you very much ahead of time. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like rating down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Hopefully when Finn Toon of the Week comes out in just a few days, we will get some answers to some questions, although maybe it'll just honestly bring us more questions. It's probably what's gonna happen. As always, if you wanna see more videos from me, go and check out that video that Dandy is looking at after he looks at his tape. His tape's more important. There we go, right there. That video. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see all of you beautiful people in the next video.